Common mistakes men make. I need to admit something. Sometimes, a simple hug can create more impact than a kiss. There are women who have walked away from relationships, betrayed partners, or become deeply fixated on a man who never even crossed certain lines with them, just because of how he held them in a moment. One embrace, one subtle placement of his hand, and suddenly, she can't get him out of her mind. Most men hug in a way that feels safe, predictable, and forgettable. Like a friend. Like there's no weight behind it. And that's exactly why there's no desire, no curiosity, no pull. But the man who understands presence doesn't just hug. He leaves an impression. He creates a feeling she doesn't fully understand, but can't ignore. Today, we're breaking this down. First, why most men fail in something as simple as a hug, and the deeper triggers that turn it into something unforgettable. Then, the subtle actions that make her replay the moment long after it's over. And finally, the one move that leaves her thinking about you even when you're gone. Let's begin with why most hugs don't matter. A woman feels it instantly. The difference between a man who grabs her quickly and one who pulls her in slowly, with control. When a man rushes, it feels uncertain, like he's trying to secure something before it slips away. But when he takes his time, guiding her in calmly, it feels like he already knows she's coming closer. That difference changes everything. Because pacing is not just movement, it's communication. Fast actions often signal nervousness or need. Slow, controlled movement signals certainty, stability, and grounded masculinity. When you don't rush, you're not asking, you're leading. So the rule is simple. Don't grab. Don't rush. Guide. Let your hand settle naturally, apply calm pressure, and allow her to lean into you. When you control the pace, she feels it. And that feeling creates comfort, which later turns into desire. Move slower than feels natural. Breathe deeper than usual. Because when you slow the moment down, she speeds it up later in her mind. But there's another layer most men miss. Once she's close, where your hand rests changes everything. There's a reason a woman reacts differently when a hand settles on her lower back. It doesn't feel casual. It doesn't feel neutral. It carries meaning. It feels protective, grounded, and quietly assertive at the same time. That area is vulnerable. It's exposed, close to her center of balance. When a man places his hand there with calm confidence, it taps into something deeper, something instinctive. It signals strength without force. Most men stay high on the shoulders to stay safe, to avoid crossing lines. But the man who understands presence naturally positions himself differently, and that difference sets him apart immediately. The psychological triggers that make her obsess. If you want her to truly feel your presence, guide her from the lower back, not in a forced way, not exaggerated, but steady and intentional. That small detail communicates more than words ever could. It tells her she's with a man who knows himself. And once she feels that, it stays with her. Now here's where most men ruin everything. They rush the ending. A quick pat, a fast release, and it's over. To her, that feels empty, like the moment meant nothing. But when a man holds just slightly longer than expected, something shifts. That extra second matters. Because timing creates emotion. If you pull away too quickly, it can feel like distance. But if you hold just a moment longer, it creates curiosity. It makes her wonder what was felt in that silence. So the rule is clear. Don't cling, don't overdo it. Just stay one beat longer than expected, then release calmly. That small delay creates a question in her mind, and that question lingers. Now, another detail most overlook: proximity. When your face comes close, when your presence is felt near her neck or cheek, her body reacts before her mind can interpret it. That area is highly sensitive. Even the smallest brush of warmth or breath can create a strong reaction. Not because it's forced, but because it feels natural and unspoken. The key is subtlety. Don't exaggerate it. Let it happen as part of the moment. Stay calm, steady, and composed. Then pull back like nothing happened. That's what makes it powerful. It feels real, not performed. Now, let's address a major mistake: talking. Most men break the moment by speaking too soon. Compliments, jokes, unnecessary words. And the second they do, the tension disappears. But silence? Silence creates space. And in that space, her mind begins to work. When you say nothing, she starts asking herself questions. What is he thinking? What did that mean? Why does this feel different? And that internal dialogue is what creates attachment. So the rule is simple. Don't fill the silence. Let the moment exist on its own. The less you explain, the more she tries to understand. Another overlooked detail is movement. Most men stay stiff, like they're unsure of themselves. But a man with presence moves naturally, even in small ways. As the hug ends, a slow, deliberate movement of the hand across her back or shoulder creates a lasting impression. It feels intentional, and because it's subtle, it stays in her mind longer. So don't be rigid. Let your movement be slow and controlled as you pull away. That lingering touch creates a sensation that doesn't end when the hug does. Now, understand this. Balance is everything. Too soft feels weak. Too firm feels forced. But when you combine both, strength and gentleness, you create something powerful. One arm steady and grounded, the other relaxed and responsive. That contrast creates tension, and tension is what keeps the moment alive in her memory. Hand placement and timing techniques that work instantly. This is where everything comes together. The most powerful move isn't holding longer, it's knowing when to let go. Specifically, letting go before she expects it. When you end the hug first, while the moment is still building, you leave something unfinished. And unfinished moments stay in the mind, because people are drawn to what feels incomplete. So instead of giving the full experience, you create a pause, a gap. And in that gap, her imagination fills the space. Did he feel something? Why did he stop? What was that? That's what stays with her. So the rule is simple. Be the one who ends it. Calmly, confidently, and without hesitation. Not cold, just certain. And after you let go, don't break the connection immediately. Hold eye contact for just one moment longer than usual. Not intense, not forced, just steady. That brief pause makes the moment feel unfinished, like something is still there. Eye contact after physical connection deepens the impact. It turns a simple interaction into something meaningful. So don't rush away. Let that final second exist. In the end, it was never just about the hug. It's about presence, control, restraint, the ability to turn something simple into something that lingers. When you move slowly instead of rushing, when you guide instead of grabbing, when you stay silent instead of explaining, when you end the moment before it's complete, you create something unforgettable. Try it next time. Slow down. Be intentional. Stay grounded. And watch how differently she responds. That's when you'll understand. It's not about doing more. It's about doing less with purpose. Keep improving. Keep sharpening your presence. And take control of the details most men ignore.